Anyway, let's go ahead and introduce her right now. Former Miss USA and former Tough Enough contestant. You remember her. She doesn't have the butt pads this time. So let's go ahead. Let's give a big welcome to one Miss Rima Fakih. Rima, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Warm. Well, because I have the house shut, of course.
Where are you guys located exactly?
I'm actually in NorCal, and Chris is all the way in jolly old England.
Yes, London, England.
England?
Yes, I'm from London, England.
I couldn't hear you guys. Where are you?
I'm in Northern California, and Chris is in London, England.
Well, I'm your new neighbor. I just moved from New York City to California 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice. How you? What part of NorCal are you in?
Well, I'm not. I'm in West Hollywood.
Oh, okay. So you're south. All right, no problem. So like, speaking of that, how's the change been going from the big city of New York and then down here all the way in West Hollywood with all the lighter colors?
Well,
lighter color
I'm
buildings.
A New York girl. I was born in Lebanon and I moved to Queens, New York when I was a baby, you could say, and I grew up in New York City. And really, to be honest with you, I wanted to move to LA. One of the best things here is the sun. I'm sitting in the sun as we speak. But New York will always be in my heart, you know. But, you know, over here there's a lot more opportunity.
Awesome. And how did you go from living in LA and then all of a sudden deciding to, well, first off, being Miss USA and then into wrestling?
Well, you know, one of the things that I like to do is I like to break stereotypes and let people know that you can be beautiful and tough at the same time. But, you know, it was a great adventure. I have to say that Tough Enough had to be the highlight of not only my reign, but my journey as Rima Fakih. Just admired working with WWE and working with Bill DeMond and Booker T and, you know, the best diva ever, Trish Stratus, you know. So it was a great experience, something that I definitely wanted to reach in my goals of, you know, being Miss USA, and on my journey was to somehow get to the WWE ring.
Oh, nice. Chris, go ahead.
I mean, like, you bring up how you want to try and like break, like the typical thinking of fans.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
for you, I mean, how hard was it?
Can you hear Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so how hard would it for you to kind of like break that wall of, oh, she's just a pretty face, to being an actual wrestler on Tough Enough on TV?
Did you hear the question? Sorry, Chris, go ahead and type me the match. I think you asked going from Tough Enough to in the ring. Sorry, I could not understand a word he said either.
Okay,
are we having some technical difficulties?
Little bit, unfortunately.
Okay, what I'll do, I will be, man, you carry on and I'll recall you.
Okay, no problem. So when it came to going into Tough Enough, what was the transition like going into the ring? And you did mention working with Bill DeMont and Steve Austin and Trish Stratus. How was the transition going into it from there? I mean, because did you have like prior wrestling training before that?
I had zero wrestling experience. You know, to be honest with you, I always wanted to get into training, into wrestling, or, you know, some sort of physical training where, you know, growing up watching wrestling, I always felt like that's where I belonged. The diva title always seemed to suit me, whether I was imitating China with my guy cousins to, you know, walking the runway. You know, I always showed that toughness. But the problem was, you know, of course my dad didn't think it was a thing for a girl to do, and growing up Middle Eastern in a culture that, you know, you don't normally see girls in the ring, it wasn't that easy. Also financially, I tried to do it kind of like secretly, but it was too expensive to get to training. So I started to do a lot of modeling and acting, and then I decided to enter Miss Michigan and was hoping to, not was hoping, I just knew I could win it, that mentality. And I did it, and then I won Miss USA. And when I was at Miss Universe pageant, backstage, I saw a couple girls that had their name tags with the WWE symbol on it, and I ran up to them, and I was like, oh, my God, you guys, you're from WWE, and they're like, yeah, you are. They're like, oh, my God, Miss USA. Oh, we've been looking for you. And the reason I think is because I'd hosted Raw a couple of times, and
right.
And I showed interest. Well, after that, after meeting them, I hosted Raw a couple of times, and I just thought like, even though my organization and our president, Ms. Paula Shugart of the Miss Universe organization, was terrified when I told her I can do it, I can do Tough Enough, I can go. So everyone was kind of afraid for me. I had no wrestling experience, and I was going in a house with 14 independent wrestlers, but that didn't faze me. In my opinion, I thought that you don't have to be a professional trainer to be a WWE diva, because they can teach you that. You just have to show them you got what it takes.
Now, speaking of that, how hard when you went into the house? I mean, like, what was there any advice given to you from, like, especially the guys that were in the indie business? I remember the first couple episodes you had a problem with one of them. I forget which one it was, but I know I wanted him gone.
I talked to a couple of people from WWE who told me basically, are you sure you're ready for this? There's going to be, when they find out that you're Miss USA, you're going to be looked at as, like, what is you doing here? You're kind of going to be like the piñata. And I told them, great, I love a challenge. So, of course, right when we went in the house and they told us it was okay for us to start to talk, I wasn't going to tell anyone I was Miss USA. I just wanted to prove myself in the ring and in action first. But right when the camera started rolling, right away, one of the guys was like, wait a second, aren't you Miss USA that hosted Raw and this and that? And all the guys started to be like, oh, you're only here because you look good. And so I'm like, well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. And second of all, actions speak louder than words, so let's get this game rolling. And it wasn't easy. They were all picking on me. You didn't see a lot of the things that were commented, but I didn't care. All of that pushed me more. And I'm happy to say that by the end, when I had to leave Tough Enough, I only left not because I ran away like everyone thought I would, but because I had 3 fractured ribs. And everyone that doubted me all came to me and said, wow, you really impressed us.
And you really did. You went until you couldn't take it anymore, and not a lot of people can say that. But
thank you.
How hard was it to break that wall of just being the pretty face and becoming one of the tougher competitors on Tough Enough? You went from, and you did mention how the president from the Miss USA pageant was terrified of you going into it, but then you really went to your limit on that one. Like, how hard for you was it when it came to it, just and proving to everyone there, even the guys, even Bill DeMott and even AJ Kirsch, who wrestles out here in NorCal, of breaking that stereotype to say, just because I look good doesn't mean I'm not gonna pussyfoot around my training. Like, how hard was that, breaking that wall?
It wasn't easy because you can't just tell people. It was, the organization was afraid for me. The people that were shooting the show, the production, was, even them, they were like, are you sure you can handle this? For me, it was like, I'm not your average Miss USA. That's the first thing. I know that it was weird for everyone to think that I can even make it. Sorry, there's a lot of noise here.
No problem.
I know it was very odd for people to even think that I can make it, but that only made me want to show them how wrong they are more. And for me, really, I feel like actions speak louder than words, and that's all I wanted to do is get that opportunity to prove people. But also, it's how bad you want it, because a lot of people say that they want to be a diva or a wrestler, but they don't want to put up the work. So for me, it was like, give me that opportunity, and I'm going to grab it by the horns and show everyone that I have what it takes. And, yeah, I knew what I had. And all that negativity just pushed me more.
I think to be fair, I mean, if you look right now at the current couple of divas, in terms
there?
of
Yeah, we're
presence-
here. Remember,
What?
Chris, she can't hear you for some reason. Something on my end. I don't know what it is.
Okay, I'll type it.
Yeah, go ahead and type it. How hard was it to flip between Rima the wrestler to being, or actually from Miss USA, to Rima Fakih the wrestler going into the ring every time we saw you?
Well, you know, it wasn't a walk in the park. You know, because you go from walking red carpet. I'm sorry.
Hello? Oh, the call got dropped. Let's redial here.
Yeah, so why can't you hear me?
I don't know. Let me check my settings.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. Just 1 second. Let me put my headphones in.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Testing. Can you?
I don't know why she can't hear. It's weird.
Because you can hear me.
Right.
I can hear the echo. Maybe if I call you on Google Voice.
I don't know if that would put her on hold though. That's the thing. Oh,
Well,
and apply.
is she there again? Ooh.
She's Rima, are you there? She was putting her headphones in.
Okay.
I can't hear her yet, so
Okay.
I'm just looking for looking through different things right now just to make sure my settings are right.
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre. Because I hear me as well.
Yeah. Looks like everything's right now. I don't know why it's not.
I don't know. I'll talk and we'll test and see if you can hear me. If not, my question actually was, like, compared to the current divas, she actually has more kind of presence on screen. I mean,
Guys, are you guys there?
Yeah, can you
Yep.
can you hear Chris now? Chris talk?
can you hear me now?
I think
Or am
it's
I
a
still
lot
dead
better.
silent?
Okay.
Okay.
No,
I think it sounds good now. Can you hear Chris?
can you hear me at
Yes.
all?
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, yes,
I-
I can hear you.
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Probably
No, she can't
not.
hear
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So where were we?
You were
Compared to divas.
telling me the
Compare the
transition from Miss USA to being in the ring.
Oh, right. So so going into the ring, like, how was it? Was it a long transition to get into it, or going into Tough Enough? Was it just a flick of the switch to really get into it? Just like get tough and get into it.
Well, it wasn't easy to go from walking red carpets and being all glamorous and having a stylist, you know, have your dress and everything ready, to getting down physical in the ring where you have no experience, you know. So really, to be honest with you, I left the crown in New York City and in the Trump Towers, and I went out there with my, you know, my workout gear, and I was ready, you know, I was ready to take on, you know, the wrestling world, because in my opinion, I have a crown, I have that beauty title on my hand, and in my opinion, that's what a Miss USA, that's what a diva is. A diva is, you know, someone who can be beautiful and smart and, you know, have, you know, that, you know, swagger, I guess, about her, and go in the ring, you know, because if you look at the divas, they're all beautiful, and a lot of them have modeling backgrounds, just like Trish Stratus had. And it was an honor to hear from Trish Stratus a couple times tell me that she sees herself in me, that she told me that she thinks that I can be the next Trish Stratus. I mean, that's, for me, I was like,
That's a hell of an honor.
yeah, you know, so, and you know, hearing Booker T tell me that I have the snug, he calls it the snug, of what it takes to be in the ring. I mean, that's all I needed to reassure myself that I can make it. Nothing can stop me.
Now, have you also looked at the competition to WWE for TNA wrestling?
Can you say that one more time?
Have you looked at the current competition, or what WWE does not consider competition, but TNA wrestling as well?
At TNA wrestling?
Yes.
Have I looked into it? You said?
Yeah, like a possible alternative for that.
Like if I don't make it in WWE, you mean?
Right.
Well, for me, honestly, it's either WWE or nothing at all. So
All or nothing. I see. I understand.
Well, if I go to you know, TNA, I'm only working to get to where I want to be with WWE.
So if TNA was a stepping stone to WWE, you'd take it. But if it's not, then you don't have to.
Well, I would take it to gain the experience and the training and the ability to get to where I want to be with WWE. So I would take, for me, I don't turn down, you know, things that I feel that I can work through. So my ultimate goal is WWE, but if I have to go through different training to get there, then I will do so.
There you go. Speaking of which, who would you love to feud with in WWE? We've seen a lot of talent now with Eve and Kelly and all that. But who would you, Rima Fakih, if you had that main event or if you had that Diva main event at WrestleMania, who would you want it to be against? Ultimately.
Well, I would have to say Kelly. I think it would be Kelly because I like her style. I like her, you know, what she brings into the ring, and I feel like I can do better. So I'd probably do that. But, you know, I mean, for me, it's, I guess, anyone. Bring it on, girl.
Yeah, whoever you could take, you'll take it. I like that because, especially now with them.
Whoever wants to mess with Rima Fakih is going down.
There you go. You'll take on all comers. I like that. Now.
Yeah, but you know, I'll go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish what you were gonna say.
Well, you know, I see myself in many different, you know, like the next Trish Stratus, but I also see myself kind of bringing in what Randy Savage's girlfriend,
Miss Elizabeth,
brought in to the style of wrestling. So it's not like I can compare to myself to someone because I feel like I can bring a whole other style to the game, in other words.
Because I notice you seem to be a bit faster in the ring. I mean, despite all that's happened, I think with your style, I think you could really give a speed factor to what the Divas haven't, to be honest, haven't really shown as of yet. But yeah, I could see that happening with you and Kelly, or even someone with the classic training like Natalya and Beth Phoenix. I think that would be a great match to watch as well, as far as promotional side goes. So
if I had a choice, I would knock down anyone that looks like they have my style. Like, I want to be the only brunette in the game.
There you go. What do you see as a gimmick for you in WWE? Would it be like a total debutante, like a Miss USA style gimmick, or do you think you'd be able to fit in anything they give you, or however you want to do it?
Pretty much, you can throw me in the deep end, and I'll come out with my own style. So I'll leave that a surprise for the future.
Oh, nice. I like that answer. That's a good answer. What are your thoughts on working with Booker T and Austin and Stratus and DeMott? I mean, of course, we obviously don't see everything going on in Tough Enough, but like, what are your thoughts on and off the air of all the trainers you had in Tough Enough?
Well, I can tell that I was being tested just because of who I was. I could tell, like, you know, I love Stone Cold. I mean, I know he pushed me and to the limit where anytime I'd get body slammed, like the girls get 3, he'd be like, give her more. You know, you saw that. And it wasn't him trying to be mean to me, because like everyone asks me, like, are you mad? Are you upset that this is? I'll be like, no, because Stone Cold's only trying to see if I'm here for the right reason. Like the girl that got eliminated first, Ariane, she wasn't there for the right reason. She knew nothing about wrestling. She just wanted TV time, you know? So it was kind of like, for me, it was, I proved it to Stone Cold that, yeah, I'm here for the right reason, and I stuck around. Booker T, I could tell at first he wasn't really paying attention to me because the same reason, but I realized that he saw how tough I was, and he saw how bad I wanted it. Like, when the butt pad incident happened, he said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'm like, yeah, you understand where I'm coming from. You know, I'm a little confused of everything, but, and, you know, I appreciated that. Now, and Trish was always there to give me pointers on how she picked up the whole, you know, wrestling experience when she was starting out. But Bill DeMott just was pissed off that there's a freaking beauty queen in his ring. Every time he wanted to, like, if someone pisses him off, if it was Eric or Andy, he'd stop, he'd look over my way, he'd be like, I got a freaking beauty queen in my ring. Like, anytime anything happened, like when I had the incident with when Trish noticed I was hurting on my ribs and they called in a doctor into the ring, they pulled me aside. Now, mind you, I did not want to go aside. I'm the type that I don't care if I'm bleeding. I'm going to keep going, which happened actually the night when I was in the ring with Bill DeMott. I was bleeding all over the mat, and I didn't care. I kept going. But, you know, Bill DeMott definitely, I mean, I'm not going to lie, there were times where I just wanted to curse him out. But you know what? I understood where he was coming from, and I'm happy that I got to prove to him what I'm all about. Because before I left, he told me, he said, I have daughters, and I hope they're as tough as you are when they grow up. So that to me was amazing to hear.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned earlier about the butt pads, and since you're running the ropes tonight, what was the butt pads your idea to try, or was it someone else bringing it up?
When I came in at the
when you came in with the butt pads and they didn't catch you just yet until they stopped you and saw it.
Well, you're saying whose idea was it?
Yeah, if that was something you were trying out, or someone else suggested that you tried out.
Well, I had worked extra in the ring the night before, and I think a couple of the guys were kind of feeling bad for me because they saw I was bruised up, and I didn't have wrestling shoes. I just, I wanted to get some stuff. I've always wanted to buy my own wrestling shoes and stuff like that, but I came from a world travel tour on my mission as Miss USA and went straight to Simi Valley, California, and went right into the ring. So, I was bruised up and everything, and all of a sudden the guys pulled me aside, like Michael was like, here, I have two extra knee pads that, I'm not using if you want to use them. When I put those pads on my knees, they dropped down to my ankles, and when I put them on my elbows, there's no chance. So I was like, you know what? Really, initially, the only thing that's really hurting in my body a lot is my butt, and I know I can get more speed in the ring if I had my butt, like, not bleeding so I'm bruised. So let me just put this pad in my butt. And
whatever works.
and the funny thing is about me is that I didn't know it was cheating, and what I did is right in front of everyone before we started, I just stuffed it down my butt. And when I was in the ring, I mean, it was obvious that I had a pad on, but I didn't think it was a big deal. And when I was pulled over and I was like, what do you have in your pants? And, I was shown on TV, and then,
right.
What's his name? Bill DeMott was like, why is there a pad in your butt? And I go, well, Donald Trump, my boss, told me to watch my ass, so here we go. I'm watching.
So you're just making sure it's okay.
Yeah, trying to protect. This is I still have a couple more months in my crown till I'm done. I just need to go back, not looking too bruised up, But
yeah, you still need to look good at the end.
I didn't think it was a big deal, or not part of the rules.
Usually it's not. I mean, I will say this: it's original. So definitely.
Oh yeah, you know how great it feels to walk through the airport in Portugal or Spain and hear people go, "Oh my God, Miss USA, butt patch."
Oh man.
That was fun. Or like when I'm in India after, and I was on a bike, those bike tours. He's giving us a little tour of Mumbai, and the guy riding us on the bike in Mumbai, India, turned on and goes, "So you're going to be a diva?" That's great.
That's pretty cool because now you're not just recognized. You're not so much recognized as Miss USA anymore, but more as the wrestler now, as wanting to try and get into the wrestling, and that's what makes it worthwhile.
You don't understand the amount of attention and amount of fans that WWE in the wrestling world has all over the world. And after Tough Enough aired and I was traveling, everywhere I went, like autograph sessions, people like will come. Like, it was so funny when I was in one of the USO bases with our soldiers in I believe it was in an island in Spain, in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
And all these soldiers came. It was during 4th of July, and they were all wearing their wrestling shirts. Like, one of them had a Rock shirt on, and they're all, like, all the soldiers and their families were like, "Yeah, you know, we're a big fan of yours." And, like, to hear the soldiers tell me that they have one TV that they share, and after they saw that Miss USA was going to be on Tough Enough, they're like, "Oh, let's get a good kick out of this." You know, and they're like, "But you really proved yourself, and you made us all, like, we're all rooting for you." So to hear that, like, the soldiers in Afghanistan is watching you and rooting for you, I'm like, woo, let's go.
Now, after, and when, I love how, I think I just said that, with the international fact really makes a lot of big difference. But going forward, how bad did you feel when you had to miss the Tough Enough final, the live Tough Enough final?
I was terrible.
Just devastated?
I was very upset. But the reason, you know, it didn't upset me too much is because I was giving up my crown as Miss USA, and after handing down the crown, I knew that I would be free and able to pursue what I wanted to do with WWE. But yeah, I was upset that I wasn't there. It wasn't something that I wanted to miss. But, you know, I wasn't in control of my schedule as well. You know, I was part of an organization.
Right.
And I had to, so I was like, "Can I just leave for just one day and then come back?" They're like, "No.
Just for one night, please." What are your thoughts on Andy Levine winning the Tough Enough title, or Tough Enough competition?
I think Andy is tough and dedicated. He's definitely tough and dedicated. He knows he was working really hard and, you know, trying to stay focused in the house, but so was everyone else.
Right.
In my opinion, I thought that Luke was amazing. You know, he was very fit, very strong, had what it takes to be a wrestler. But at the end of the day, if I thought someone should win, it would have been Martin.
Which one was Martin again? I forget.
Martin is Donny Osmond.
Oh, right. Donny Osmond. That's right.
That's how everyone calls him. He gets so mad when I be like, "Hey, Donny."
I could see him walking. I could see him the same way how you'd walk and they'd recognize you. I could see people. I could see fans walking on, "Hey, it's Donny Osmond." Just the same thing. Oh, he's gonna have to live with that for the rest of his life.
Well, there's a lot more. Like, I had one girl go, "Oh my God, my favorite line is, 'What do you mean I can't be a diva? I have 2 guns and a crown.'" I did say that. I'm like, "Oh, thanks for liking my line."
That's awesome. What's the future like for you in terms of getting into wrestling? Are you still in talks with WWE? Are you still wanting to get into it, or
well,
what?
You know, I don't know exactly what's going on with WWE for my end, but I guess you just kind of, you know, sit back and wait to see if you get that call. But I'm not sitting back. I'm I'm here in LA. I'm, reaching out to training centers and trying to see if I can get involved in certain things where it can lead me to potentially being the next WWE diva.
Okay. And Chris was wanting to ask what your favorite moment.
I'll give you a little piece of exclusive news.
Okay.
You guys might be the first. You never know. There might be something soon where you might find out that I am the next WWE diva. So there's talks going on with me and Triple H.
Uh-oh. We got to email the news sites.
You guys just got the exclusive news. But it's not. I'll promise you this: if it does happen, I'll definitely call you guys back first, so you'll be the first one to announce it.
I would love to announce you becoming part of the WWE roster because, honestly, and I've said it earlier, you watching, and I kept up with the show entirely. You were the smallest one coming in. And if it's one thing that professional wrestling itself has proven was that even the little guys can go in and just tear the house down. And I've seen it not only in WWE but in companies like TNA and independent companies like All Pro Wrestling and Rival Forge Wrestling. The little guy that's 5'6", 5'7" can go on and put on just one amazing match after the other, and every week just really going into it. And even the smaller women can actually really go, especially ones that come from big places like the East Coast, like New York City. We've seen it, Detroit for sure, California, all over the place. So I could definitely see you becoming one of the better divas that we actually have not seen since Trish Stratus and Lita and Stacy Keibler and all that. So it would really work to have you in there. So
thank you so much. One thing that I learned from Stone Cold is that it's not enough to look good or to have the proper training as a wrestler. It's you have to be a fan first.
Yes,
and that's what it takes. We're not. I mean, if you look at it, Mad Dog was one of the best wrestlers. I mean, amazing. He's like Rey Mysterio. I mean, everyone was intimidated by him. But I kept telling everybody the fact that he's quiet and has no, he's too shy in the ring, it's going to hurt him. And it ended up hurting him. He got, as good as he was eliminated second week. And to let you know, you said, being from the East Coast or being little and getting in the ring, I personally, I didn't like how, when we'd have challenges that weren't in the ring, like running or physical stuff, a lot of the girls and some of the guys would make excuses like, oh, I'm sick, or I didn't have, or one thing I didn't like that Eva Lee said, she's a good wrestler, but she was like, I was sick for a couple weeks before I came, that's why I'm out of shape. And I'm thinking, I haven't even had a weekend off in the last 9 months. I've been traveling all over the world, but I'm finishing my 2-mile race before all the girls and half the boys, There's no excuse. There's no excuses. If you make excuses for yourself, you'll never make it where you want to be in life.
That's really good advice, actually. So yeah, I know from my small stint at training that it takes a lot more than just dedication. It takes so much more. You have to put all the barriers behind you and just ignore all the stuff that's going to come in. So yeah, definitely. Real quick before we let you go, Chris was asking if you wanted to follow us on Twitter so we could give you a link to the archive for the interview.
Oh,
so you can put that out there too. And also,
my Twitter name is Official Rima. Make sure you let the fans know, Official Rima, and I only have one Facebook that's Official Rima Fakih. It's a fan page. All the other ones are fake. Just an FYI to everyone listening, because I'll walk through areas sometimes where people are like, yeah, you added me on Facebook. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. One guy told me, I gave someone, I gave you on Facebook my address so you can mail me a comp card. I'm like, well, great, you just...
I love fake wrestler Twitters and all that because I follow them just to watch them get taken down. I really do.
Well, you're funny. Well, mine is official Rima, and my email is booking@rimafakih.com.
Awesome. And real quick before we let you go, can we get a quick liner from you?
Are you guys going to tweet me when the interview is going to air?
Definitely, we're gonna tweet you. That's the first thing we're gonna do.
And make sure you can text me on this number, or you can email me. Just let me know in case I missed the tweet, so that I can make sure I retweet and everyone knows about it.
Okay. Can I get a liner from you as well, real quick? Hello?
Yes?
Oh, I was wondering if I could get a liner from you as well.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Can I get a quick liner, like just promoting the show?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, real quick. Let me set it up. So it's you could say what you want, but it's running the ropes on the Unchained Wrestling Network.
Say that again.
You could say just saying you could say whatever you want, and just put in running the ropes on the Unchained Wrestling Network.
Running the ropes on the Unchained Wrestling Network.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey guys, it's your beauty queen, Miss USA / Miss Tough Enough, Rima Fakih. I just want you to all know that this is the best station in the house. I'm running the ropes with the Unchained Wrestling Network, baby.